I'm Ryan, and this is the S.O.U.N.D Project. All right, so today we are interviewing the newest member of our team. So Paige, you started with us like a month ago?
I don't even
almost?
think it's been a month. It was July 15th. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So
cool.
we're close, yeah.
And for us, you are Gavin's executive assistant. So do you want to talk about just like starting out a little bit about like what you're doing with the team so far?
So far, it's kind of been a learning experience for Gavin and I because he hasn't had an assistant before.
Yeah.
So it's just been both of us kind of figuring out what he needs and kind of like what he's willing to like let go to be able to take on more important things.
Sure.
And the biggest thing I think for him so far has been kind of looking over his email so that like
Yeah.
if he's in a meeting or something, he doesn't come out to a lot of emails. It's just a few that I've narrowed down for him.
Yep.
I think that's been probably the most helpful.
I know that's something that he's definitely taking some getting used to, where it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not the first person to see my inbox anymore. Like,
Yeah,
it's,
for sure.
But it's like already, like, even though you've only been here for a very short period of time, it's also like, you can already tell how much it's like been a help to him. So,
For sure.
So tell us a little bit about just like where you're from, like the general, like, this is who I am kind of thing. So, like,
Yeah.
where you're from, maybe like where you went to high school and like what some of your hobbies were growing up.
Okay. So I'm from Fishers. I was born in Muncie, but moved to Fishers when I was about 4. So I just say I'm from Fishers. Went to HSC High School in Fishers. And hobbies growing up, I did ballet and did piano
Nice.
up until I think junior high. I've always loved reading, and yeah.
Nice. And you did show choir as well in
I
high
did.
school, right?
Yep. So I started choir like as soon as you could start choir. I don't remember what grade it was, maybe 3rd. And yeah, did choir all the way through high school. And once I got to high school, it was show choir. So.
Nice. So everyone here like has a music background. Like that's almost the thing that comes like first.
Yeah.
So like do you still play piano or like do you still sing or anything like that?
So unfortunately, I don't play piano. I kind of would like to get back into it, but I stopped taking lessons and just haven't ever gone back to it. But I've thought about just doing it myself because I know you can kind of just YouTube or whatever.
YouTube University is definitely a thing.
For sure. I do still sing, just more for myself.
Yeah.
I'm kind of shy about it a little bit.
Sure.
I used to sing in church some. My dad's a pastor, and his dad was a pastor, so grew up with a lot of family members that are singers and
Sure.
play instruments. My grandma actually started playing piano when she was 4, I think, and she just always played by ear. So
Dang.
very cool.
That's awesome.
So yeah, used to sing in church some. Never really was one to do solos.
Okay.
But I would like to eventually get back into like singing in church. But just haven't gotten there yet.
That's fair. Very cool. So the first time that we met you, like we talked about like after high school what you did. And so you didn't go to like a 4-year school. You ended up doing something a little different. So do you want to talk about what you did after that?
Yeah, so I decided to do cosmetology school. I went to Aveda here in Indy, and that's doing hair.
Yeah.
So I did that for a few years, and I've kind of always been in the salon world. My mom does hair as well.
Nice.
So I grew up in that, and then just have also done some admin work in salons.
Cool.
And I actually went back and worked at Aveda where I went to school and
Nice.
did like student services and stuff. So it's kind of how I got here, I guess.
Yeah. So I know like right before here you were working, I think it was like that more admin type thing, right?
Yeah, I was more on the side of just doing admin work. I
Okay.
kind of have gotten to the point where I just do hair for like family, friends.
Gotcha.
Because I just really enjoy the admin side of things.
Yeah.
I think if I didn't do hair, I would have been an elementary teacher. So
Okay.
I like stuff like that.
Cool.
So when I started looking for a different job, that's kind of just how I came across this.
So did you ever do like cutting hair like as a full on thing? Okay. How long
Yeah.
did you do that for?
Few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that we've gone over like some of the professional stuff, like what are some things that you do outside of work?
So right now, I feel like the biggest thing that's been taking up a lot of my time is that I'm getting married in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So just kind of finalizing all of those plans and everything feels like it's been my like 5 to 9, if you will.
Yeah.
Every day. But we're getting to the point where most of that stuff is done. Just kind of have to get to the wedding day. So when I do have more free time, I like going to the pool and I like to read as many books as I can kind of over the summer because somehow it just feels like I have little more free time usually in the summer, but.
And then your fiance's name is Ian. So is Ian like involved with music as well?
So he does play guitar.
Yep.
He isn't like taking lessons or anything, but he's kind of like how I am with the piano, where he's striving to just get better and better at it.
Yeah. Do you guys ever do anything like on your own, like together, music wise?
Like a jam sesh or something? No. No, not really. Unless it's just like in the car.
Sure.
But
missed opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe one day.
If you guys are like traveling, are you guys more like music people or more podcast people?
So it depends on the length of time. If it's just like, oh, we're going like on a date or something to a restaurant, then just music.
Sure.
But we have done like longer road trips, and that's usually kind of a mix of music and podcasts, just depending
That's
like
fair.
how long the trip is.
Okay.
I usually go for music though.
Nice.
So
And so we've talked about this, but who's your favorite artist?
John Mayer.
Nice. How many times have you seen him live?
3.
Okay. Were they all in Noblesville, like this area?
Yeah, I think 2 times. No, 1 was in Noblesville and 2 was in downtown Indy.
Okay, gotcha. So outside of John Mayer, like what kind of music do you generally listen to?
I also really like a group named Delaney.
Okay.
It's kind of like, I describe it kind of like pop indie a little bit. I usually honestly go for more pop music if I'm not doing just like the laid back stuff like John Mayer.
Yeah.
But I also really enjoy like worship music too. I think just from my background of growing up in church.
Sure, that makes sense. Laney was one, I think it was like the first week that you started that I asked like for a band outside of John Mayer.
Yeah.
And like I listened to them and like I listen to them relatively consistently now.
Yeah.
So
They're pretty cool.
they are great. They're really, really good.
Yeah.
Cool. So then, yeah, outside of that, like what do you like doing in your free time? Like I know normally like right now you've got the wedding and stuff going on, but what's like the stuff that you and Ian like to do together?
Yeah, normally if it's good weather, we like to do outside things, whether it's just like going to like a park and doing like a walk on a trail, or we both really like playing cornhole. So just kind of anything that gets us outside and active, we enjoy.
Cool. And I'm pretty sure it's not in frame, but we do have a basketball hoop like on my office door back here, and we've kind of like coined this like Paige special shot. So why don't you explain what that is?
So basically one day we just were playing and I was just standing in a spot, and I'm not very athletic, so I was like, let me just try, and just like lobbed it. And it went in. So that's the new Paige shot. And I don't know if it was George or Nate that said it's basically just a granny shot, but that's fine.
There's more. Yeah, I forget which one of them said that, but there's definitely more in it than a granny shot. You've got like your shoulder, like
and
swinging
I'm only
into
using
it.
one arm. I'm not like really trying.
It's not a true granny.
Yeah.
But that has like truly kind of, because like games of like pig or whatever word have like kind of become a thing in the office, and that's like 100% been your shot. And I think it was your first week also where you ended up winning, and you went home and told your dad about it, and he maybe didn't completely believe you.
No, because he knows like that. Yeah, he just was like, oh, they probably let you win, Paige. I was like, no, like I genuinely won, and it was against Nate.
Yep.
So I really felt good about that.
So just so everyone here is aware, so Nate comes up with these crazy shots that are like hits the drywall and then goes in the hoop, or hits the
ceiling,
drop tile and then the drywall and goes in, which may not sound that impressive, but it's actually really, really hard to make. And he
does it like every time. Yeah.
And so, so for you to, but also full disclosure, you did actually win.
I did.
So
yeah.
It's awesome. Oh, very cool. And then, so now that you're here, like, what are some of your hopes, like, to see, like, as a company? Like, what's your goal with the company now?
I would say Gavin and I kind of talked about like what my professional goals are.
Yeah.
And I just did it more so through the end of this year.
Sure.
Which was really just to feel like that I'm really integrated with all of our like systems that we have, like our different softwares that we use.
For sure.
And just really being able to not only be an extension of Gavin and be able to help him in that way, but to be able to help the team as a whole and take on more responsibilities that can take stuff off of everyone's plate as well.
For sure.
So I guess I haven't really thought like really far in the future with it yet, but for right now, that's getting through this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that's something that Gavin also has not like wasted any time getting you in front of like some of our partners where it's like, I think on your first day you went to S.O.U.N.D to like meet with them. And then you've also gone like, we're very close with the folks at Sweetwater. So you got to go there for the first time.
Yeah,
and
that was really cool.
We even have a video of you going down the slide and everything. So no, there has
Mm-hmm.
been no time wasted of throwing you in. So
For sure. Yeah, that's what I was a little hesitant when I found out that I had to do this podcast because I was like, are we sure? I haven't even been here for a month. But in a lot of ways, it kind of just feels like I've been here for a long time already. So
yeah, I was going to say it. Yeah, you're definitely part of the team already. Like there was no, I don't know, you were able to get acquainted with everyone very quickly.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
all right. So now for the kind of the famous part of the interview process is, so I explained it on all of them, but on the first one that we did, my wife Lexi was like, all right, by the end of the episode, I want to know like these 4 or 5 things like out of the episode. So firstly, Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right answer. I think Luke is still the only one that answered that one incorrectly.
Oh, dang. If I really had the full on choice, I would do Dr. Pepper.
All right, that's fair.
But out of the 2, Coke.
Coke.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. We kind of already answered this, but if you're going on a trip, are you doing podcast or music?
Usually music, especially if it's a shorter trip, for sure. Because with podcasts, if I don't have the time to listen to like a full podcast in one day, I don't even want to get into it.
That's fair.
I'll break it up sometimes. Like if I have at least a full hour, even if it's like half hour, then a half hour, I'll do that. But
we didn't talk about this, but like what podcasts do you generally go to?
so since I don't really listen to many, I don't feel like I have like a long list.
That's
but my go-to, if I am listening, is one that's called That's the Point.
Okay.
It's Kristen Johns and John Volk.
Okay.
And they're just like 2 friends that kind of just are sitting there like catching up,
Okay.
kind of like this.
Yeah.
And it's just usually like also like current events and
Nice.
just like kind of pop culture and different things. So
If you're
just
doing,
like an easy listen.
If you're doing podcasts, are you generally listening or watching?
Usually listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Earlier you also mentioned that like you like reading. Like what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite author or favorite genre that you gravitate to?
Usually just any type of fiction. I like call them like Hallmark books because they're just like easy poolside reads. And right now, I would say my favorite author is probably Emily Henry.
Okay. Don't know like what kind of book, or is she like the Hallmarky kind of?
Yeah, it's just kind of like you kind of know what's going to happen in the end.
Sure.
But that's kind of why I like reading, is because it's just like an escape from
Nice.
just normal life. So
That makes sense. All right. Next rapid fire is the what is it? Your favorite Mario Kart character or go-to Mario Kart character?
So usually always Princess Peach.
Solid. I don't know if we've had anyone say Princess Peach yet.
Yeah, probably not.
All right. Yeah, true. All right.
Yeah.
And then let's see, what were some of the what is like your guilty pleasure?
So I was talking a little bit before I started filming. I feel like I don't watch as much TV anymore, at least like not stuff that's like on currently. It's usually just like rewatching stuff on Netflix. But if I am, then I would say like the weird kind of reality shows like that are on, I think TLC, like Sister Wives and just that type of thing.
All right. Solid choice. All right. So the last one is kind of a one that's been added in since meeting George. But if a grizzly bear and a hippo were to get in a fight, who's winning?
A hippo. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
I think Alex is the only one that's like, no, it's a grizzly bear. Like, no,
He's just wrong for so many reasons.
Thank
we
you.
don't even like have to fully get into it because we're on the same side, so you know. But
and that's another one that I remember when I think it was again the first lunch that like we met you that we had, like you texted Ian and was like, like who's winning in this? And he came back with Team Hippo, and we're like, you found a quality guy right there, knowing nothing else about him except for he's Team Hippo.
Yeah, that's all you needed to know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for doing like you said, like you've only been here for, almost a month and like you're already doing this, but again, you've been such a value add to the team. So thank you for being here. And that's another episode of the Sound Project. If you have any questions about Paige, please comment them below and she will respond to all of those down below as well. Again, that's another episode of the Sound Project, and we'll see you next week.